Alright guys, name is Tyler aka Nanogenix, and today guys we are talking about the LR Trunks and its banner that drops tonight at 10:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tonight I have this video going live, and I do want to say that this is a before you summon, so it's an overview of the actual character itself, the banner, so I guess that's the part that maybe could change a little bit, because we could see maybe a small difference on the global version. I don't figure we will, but we could. And then we also go over, usually we build teams out, but this guy is a little bit different because typically whenever I make these videos, they are for Dokkan Fest characters, they are for leaders, here lately category leaders, so it just kind of sort of is easier to build teams around him. But we are still going to talk about that aspect, and at the end of this video, what you should be able to do is basically determine, do I want this unit, do I need this unit? I don't think anyone ever truly needs a unit, but do I want this unit, and is this something I really want to go for? So that's the whole point of it before you summon. So without further ado, before we hop in, before we start talking about everything in today's video, if you're new to the channel, you haven't done so yet, consider going down there, hitting that red subscribe button, joining the hashtag NanoFam today, as well as consider hitting that like button for another before you summon. I had a lot of you guys asking me for this. This is my first one on LR character. I have not done one for an LR banner, an LR character, anything like this. And I got several of you guys tweeting at me and leaving comments on videos asking if I was gonna make one. So I figured, why not? Let's hop in, let's talk about the LR Trunks banner. So let's begin today's video with the discussion of the actual unit itself. And it brought with it a kind of sort of cool passive that we hadn't seen yet. Now we've seen more of, but we'll talk about that once we get there. So first things first, this guy is the last, yes, the last of the 90% LR leads. Now after this guy, it's going to switch over to the new style, at least what we're currently experiencing with the three that have released, which are +4 key to super or extreme, whichever it might be, but +4 key to super types, plus 100% to HP attack and defense, and +2 key to extreme types, plus 70% to HP attack and defense. Of course, you flip-flop that for the extreme types like LR Bojack. So anyways, this guy is the physical type key plus 3 HP attack, defense plus 90%. He has his 12 to 17 key burning attack, super attack, which causes colossal damage to enemy and raises defense by 30% for 3 turns. And his 18 key, which is shining sword attack, which is one of my personal favorites in the game. I really like that super attack a ton. Causes making colossal damage to enemy and raises defense by 30% for 3 turns. So this guy, obviously already having LR stats, having an LR defense stat, and you can raise him even without a duplicate, plus 2,000 to HP attack and defense from the potential system with that as well. And of course, the fact that he fits on a Hybrid Saiyan team, his defense can be incredibly high depending on the team you're running him on. And like I said, especially Hybrid Saiyans. So because of his LR stats and everything else, and that built-in defense buff, I was trying to say buff and boost at the same time, you can actually have a pretty defensive character here using this unit. Now moving to his passive skill, attack plus 120%, which is okay in and of its right, but the cool thing about this guy is he has a high chance to stun. Now high chance in this game means 50%. If you guys run any stunners or anything like that, and they say high chance, you have a 50% chance to stun. In this guy's case, 50% chance to get a critical hit. So you would think that would happen more often than not, but again, it's a 50% chance. Now, me personally, my experience with it is I feel like he never crits, or I feel like he crits more when I do his 12 to 17 versus when I do his 18 key burning slash attack. But it is what it is. Now, what I was going to say is this was the first of his kind, if I'm not mistaken, but now that Tapion is released, Tapion has it built in. I believe the Trunks that comes from the Tapion event also has it built in. So we've seen it used on more characters, and we'll probably see it even more now that it's been introduced once. But for now, on global, as far as I'm aware, this is the only unit that currently has a built-in critical hit. Yes, he can do crits without even doing anything in the potential system, which is pretty awesome. His link skills are Royal Lineage, Cold Judgment, Super Saiyan, Shocking Speed, Prepared for Battle, Legendary Power, and Shattering the Limit, which is pretty typical of a unit of this nature. And the only category he currently fits in is Hybrid Saiyans, which he is obviously an optimal and staple unit on that team. He helps make that team be as top tier as it is. Matter of fact, right now, once he releases tonight, when this video, the day this video goes live, once he releases, he will actually fit on that team, and there will only be one LR missing for making Hybrid Saiyans as top tier as everyone talks about it being, which is the LR Goten and Trunks. Then, moving on to how the banner looked like on JP. Now, this is how it looks like on JP. I don't really see why they would change this. I don't. but I do want to note that it could change moving forward. Now, the thing about these LR banners, if you guys haven't been around, because Goku Black was like 4 or 5 months ago, and we obviously get new players all the time, there are a lot of featured units, as you can see on your screen. There are a ton of featured units. There are 14 SSRs that are featured and 5 SRs. So if you guys haven't noticed, it's a Trunks and sort of future despair. Anyways, well, it's sort of like future-esque themed banner, and you're going to pull a ton of Trunkses. Now you may end up getting lucky and pulling the LR Trunks, but you're probably going to pull a ton of the featured SSR Trunkses and a ton of the featured SR Trunkses. So just get ready, if you're going to go in on this banner, to pull a ton of those. Now, there are actually some notable units on this that are pretty top tier. That Strength Trunks is a very, very good unit on Hybrid Saiyans, very good unit on Super Strength, and he's a very good unit. Pan, also a very good support unit, both of which also fit on the Shadow Dragon Arc team, and do a very good job on there as well. The other ones that are kind of notable are the Tech Future Trunks can be pretty good on a mono Tech team, and that Physical Trunks is a pretty good support unit, but for the most part, I feel like Pan probably takes his spot. So there's the banner, guys. It's what it looked like on JP. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. But again, if you're new to how these LR banners work, there are a ton of featured units, which make pulling the actual LR itself quite a bit harder, because how these work, if you aren't familiar, is it goes from 2 pulls. Whenever it decides, hey, you're gonna need an SSR, it says, hey, I'm gonna either pull from this pool, which is the 130 characters that are non-featured, or hey, I'm gonna pull from this pool, which is in this case the like 20 characters that are featured. So that's how it decides what you can pull. And one last thing before we move on is all the LRs are going to be on this banner. That's how it was on JP. That's how it should be on this. So you will have LR Majin Vegeta, Gohan, Broly, and which one am I missing? I was on a roll. I was on such a good roll. LR Gohan, LR Broly, LR Goku Black, LR Broly, LR Gohan, LR Goku Black, and then in the LR Majin Vegeta should all be on this banner as well. And this will mark the 3rd featured banner. LR Gohan kind of having a featured banner with the waifus, but the only one that's really just been like shadow dropped on the global version is LR Majin Vegeta at this point. So enough of banner talk. Let's move on to kind of how this guy should fit into everyone's teams, and sort of where it becomes like, is this guy worth to me on my current account? And it's basically state. So obviously you could run him as a leader. It's not typical for this guy, but you can do so. And because he is a 90% Judicial General Fizz, you could do something like a Final Form Cooler and Full Power Frieza rotation. So you could run those guys. You could do something like an Omega Shenron and a Sin Shenron rotation. And then obviously, of course, you could run Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks and Vegito Blue. And when Super Vegito finally comes out, you could run him too. So I'm just thinking in terms of rotations, and LR Trunks may end up not even being a front runner for your main rotations, depending on the units that you actually have. So that's kind of sort of all I really want to say there. Now, moving into his actual Super Fizz state as well as his Hybrid Saiyan state, he is staple on Hybrid Saiyans. No question about that. Now, when you're talking just Super Fizz, me personally, I will run him sometimes for the simple fact that I'm like, hey, I have LR Trunks. Hey, he is a good unit. But now that, at least on the JP version, we have Super Vegito, we have Vegito Blue, and we have Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and especially running one that is Rainbow Starred, I find myself, if I do run the Trunks, either A, I'm sacrificing potentially some damage to run him in a main rotation, B, sometimes, depending on what I have on the rotation, if the physical support Gohan isn't there, I can a lot of the times not actually get off an actual 18 key unless Whis or the other is there. Not Whis, but Whis. So I find myself in positions where he either becomes a 3rd slot rotation or I don't run him at all. But on the flip side, Hybrid Saiyans, he is optimal, and he's part of what makes this team so insane. Now, on the global version, the only one we'll be missing once he releases is the LR Goten and Trunks. And if you're able to pull all 3 of those LRs, you will have one of the absolute most top-tier teams in the game, because Hybrid Saiyan's defense and health, and with 3 LRs fitting into the category, it's absolutely insane. Again, that's why I said this would be a little bit different, because I don't really see this guy as much of a leader as I do how he fits onto his 2 main teams that he fits on. Now, he could eventually be in other categories, and that could change a little bit, but as of right now, he only fits on the Hybrid Saiyans category, so the only 2 really optimal teams you can run him on are Super Fizz and Hybrid Saiyans, and you could run him on a hero team, especially once Vegito Blue, the Tech Vegito Blue releases, but that's not for some time, so that's why I'm not really talking about it here in this global video. So anyways, there you go. My opinion on him is that he is super optimal and obviously makes the Hybrid Saiyans team what it is when people are talking about it, but when it comes to Super Fizz, you could potentially skip him if that is your main goal, is to run him on Super Fizz. So that's your boy Xando. Personal opinion on this unit. I do like him, but again, I do find myself not running him outside of the actual Hybrid Saiyans team. Now, me personally, my top three category teams, Hybrid Saiyan isn't even actually there. I personally love Revived Warriors so much. It's one of my favorite teams, outside of running, obviously, the Super teams and the Extreme teams right now because of Rose and Blue. I still run Revived Warriors a ton anytime I can find a Frieza, which should be out on the global version very soon, and so many units fit into that Revived Warriors category that I bet you, if you're able to pull the Frieza, you can probably build a pretty solid team. So if you're someone without Gohan right now, this might be a unit you skip. The Ultimate Gohan, I should probably preface. This might be a unit you could possibly skip, but as always, guys, go in with, you know, a YOLO single, a YOLO multi, whatever it might be. Try and pull your boy LR Trunks, and either way, you're going to be satisfied with this unit if you are able to pull him. So, anyways, guys, that's been today's video. As I said at the beginning, if you're new here, you haven't done so yet, consider hitting that red subscribe button, joining the hashtag NanoFam. That is growing each and every day. Thank you guys for all the support, as well as consider slapping a like on today's video. Guys, have a great day. Keep it on Nanogenix signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.